Well, welcome to the book spot. This is the spot, folks, where people get their books written. Well, welcome back to the book spot. I am Joseph McCray, author and motivational book coach. And I want to talk today about a very important topic. And I hope you get excited about it. The topic is starting and stopping, starting and stopping. And I went a little ahead of myself there. So I'm going to invite you all to come on in because I have some really important tips I believe that will help you in your writing process, to help you in your writing process. That's what the book spot is about, to kind of help encourage and inspire and pump up writers so that they get their book done. That's what it's about, getting your book done. And so tonight, that's what I want to share about, starting and stopping, that whole process of you want to write a book, then you don't want to write a book. So we want to get some information tonight to help you in that process because it is some work. It is some work. So the day, as I was thinking about this topic, I came across this article. And it was called How to Create the Habit of Writing by Leo Babauta. And I found some really good nuggets in there. And here's the website. You can look that up and get some more information. I'm going to just talk about five of the things that he talked about in this article. There was actually 10. I'm just going to talk about five. So one of the things was to set your habit in writing. So as you're thinking about writing, it's a good thing to get it in writing, to put it somewhere where you could see that, hey, this is my plan, this is what I'm going to do for my writing. You can put it on your wall. You can actually start to write it down, that you're going to spend 2 days out of the week, 3 days out of the week. But there's something that happens when you write it down because it begins to stick. It begins to form a habit, and you begin to be able to bring it to pass. And so that was a really good nugget that he gave. I'm going to just read off some other things he said about set your habit in writing. He said, if you don't commit to creating this habit on paper, you aren't really committed to forming the habit. So you do want to get it on paper. You do want to uh, see it come to pass. You want to see it come to pass. And it can be done. It can be done. So that you're just not starting it and then stopping and just letting your dream go by, because no dream should just go by. You have this dream of writing this book, and it shouldn't just be a fleeting thought and then it's just gone, because it means something to you, right? It has some value to you. And another one is commit yourself to others. Let others know that, hey, I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book. And I know sometimes we want to be real private about it. We don't want to tell everybody. But he makes a good point here. By committing yourself to others, you now are in a place where people are holding you accountable. And that can help you. That can help you to kind of stay with the habit of writing because you told somebody, hey, you know what, I'm going to write this book. And so periodically they may ask you, hey, how is your book coming along? And then you have some feedback to give them. You have something that you could say, you know what, I'm still working. I've gotten a couple chapters done, or I've written maybe 6 pages of it. And that can be motivating for you to stay with your writing. And then that brings us to find your motivation. And I want to read a few notes he had uh, in this section here, find your motivation. And he says, What are your reasons for doing this? What are your reasons for doing this book or doing your writing? Okay. And he's a blogger. I'll just go back and give him his props. That's his name there, Leo Babeda. He's a blogger, and he says that like he uh, writes a few things. He blogs about 2 or 3 things every day, and I like to kind of identify with him because I like to post about 3 things on Facebook Monday through Fridays, and it's from 3 different areas: spiritual, something about substance use, and then something just kind of basic inspirational. And so you have to find your motivation. Like, what are the reasons why you're doing this, right? What motivates you to sit down and write? What is the motivation behind you sitting down and write? Do you really want to impact a people or a culture or a particular way of doing things by your writing? Do you want someone to come away with a new understanding because of your experiences? Do you want someone life to be better off because they read your book, because they read your writings? And so what is your motivation? What is motivating? What is pushing you to want to get this book written? You want to write a book about your mom. She was a great woman, and I was there. I did that with the help of some siblings. My mother was a great woman, and her story is forever in the land. Okay, uh, some of the things that she did, some of the ways she raised us are in the land, and I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud of that. And so that was a motivation for me. That was a motivation um, to forever know that her words were um, going to be a part of the world. Like, they were not going to just die just because she passed on. And so that's an awesome thing. So find your motivation in your writing is important. Another one is to set some rewards. So you're doing all this writing, you're doing all this work. So set up some times where you reward yourself. You go out and make the sacrifice to write, and then you say to yourself, you know what, after I do that, maybe I'm gonna uh, catch a really great movie, or you know go and have some fun at the YMCA, something like that. Or at the end of the week, you just find something really gratifying for you because you've been putting in this time for your writing. And so you do need to have some rewards. Otherwise, it'll become very like a drudgery. It'll become really heavy laden, and you won't really enjoy writing. Writing is an enjoyment. You have to get to the place where you enjoy your writing. Sometimes I'll write at work and write a note, and I'll just go back and read the note sometimes 2 or 3 times because I just feel like, wow, you really described that situation. You really, gave, color to that. You really, allowed the reader to be able to come into your world and see what you saw. That's what a writer does. They bring people into their world and allow folks to see it the way they saw it. They give you an idea of what the atmosphere was like, and how the person looked, and how it made them feel. And so now you're like caught up in this world of the writer. And that's a good thing when you can put the emotions in there, and answers the who, the what, the why, for the reader. Because to the reader, they don't really know your story, they don't know your experience, they don't know how it impacted you and how it made you feel. But if you write that and you tell them, then you bring them into your world, and you allow them to feel the way you felt. You allow them to get an idea of, wow, that was painful, or that was loving, or that was funny. And so that's the artistic ability of a writer. And so after you've done all that work, you got to set some rewards. You got to, give yourself some kind of bit, enjoyment, from after you work like that. And then this is the last one I thought was really good, and that was make it fun. Make it fun. It's more likely that you'll do it if you find fun in it, if you find enjoyment in it, if you can look back over what you've written and think about the possibilities of it, to think about who hands this book is going to get into and who is going to be enlightened and blessed from what you've read. Who is going to be more encouraged or strengthened from what you have written. And that's an awesome ability. Do not take that lightly. Do not take it for granted. The ability to be able to write a story, to write a book, and allow people to enhance their lives, to have their lives much better off as a result of reading your book. And people will tell you that. People will write their reviews and post them on Amazon so other people can read them. And they'll tell you what your book did for their life. And they may be all over the place. They may be in other countries somewhere. And so really, folks, think about the power of writing and think about how to create a habit of writing, a habit of writing. It's almost like a water faucet. Like when it's really cold, they tell you to kind of run so the water won't freeze the pipes. So as a writer, you want to just sort of be in a continuous flow of writing. Even if you're just scribbling something about what happened at your day at work, even if you're just scribbling a note, telling someone, to pick up something for you, or telling someone how you felt about your day or their day or how they're doing in your life. Just keep into the flow of writing. You may not be writing your particular book at the time, but just keep in the flow of writing. So you can have that faucet constantly pouring out water so that the pipes don't get frozen. See, when the pipes get frozen, then no more water comes into the house and you got a problem. So if the pipes get frozen in your writing, then you just stop. You just stop. You just don't do it. And then you find all these reasons for why you couldn't do it. You had this going on and that going on. And then it's just a wasted dream. It's just a wasted dream. You knew that you wanted to write a story, you wanted to tell the world about a time in your life and how you overcame, how you prevailed. And you really, really wanted to bless people. And you wanted to set yourself free. You wanted to make yourself happy. You wanted to allow people to know that you're not afraid anymore. You didn't worry about being vulnerable. And you wrote this story, and it deserves to be in the earth. And so the book spot is here to kind of just motivate you, push you, just tell you you can do it. You know what I'm saying? If the next man did it or the next woman did it, so can you. Who says you can't do it? Who told you that? Who are you listening to? Listen to me. Okay? Listen to me. You can do it. It's going to take some work. You're going to have a habit. It's going to have to become a habit. And look at this. I mean, today I just went on the website and just found a topic to do the show. I realized it was the first Monday, and I was to do the book spot, and I wasn't going to make an excuse and say, "Oh, I got busy. This happened. This came up." I sat down and made this thing come to pass because I know there is somebody who is watching this who want to write a book. You want to tell a story. It's an important story. It has value to you, and you want to give someone information so they don't make the same mistakes that you made. You want someone to learn from your experiences so they won't have to experience it themselves. Folks, we don't have to experience everything to be able to say, well, you don't know until you experience it. No, you can learn from somebody else's experience. Okay. You can really learn from someone else's experience. Don't ever say, well, you don't know what it's like unless you go through it. No, I just read about it, and what I read was enough for me, and I ain't trying to do that. Right. So that's just how it is. No matter what it is, if it's diabetes, high blood pressure, if it's substance use, if it's relationships. I mean, if you get yourself a good book and you connect with the words that that author is saying, some of those things you can prevent in your life. I mean, you could get your diet under control by just reading some diabetic books. You diabetic and you ain't read one diabetic book. You got hypertension and you ain't read one book about somebody dealing with hypertension. I mean, come on. You got relationship challenges and all these things, and you want a husband or a wife, and you ain't read one relationship book. I mean, it just seemed like something that's worthwhile doing and learn from other people's experiences, right? Somebody else experienced it and they're willing to share how they got through it. I mean, it just seems like it's worth the time to read it. And if that's the kind of book you want to write, then it might be even more worth the time to read it because it give you a sense of the style of other authors, right? So we're talking about starting and stopping. I don't know why I just drifted off to that. But yeah, but we're talking about starting and stopping, right? I want you to start, but I don't want you to stop. I want you to start and keep going. I want you to start and keep going. No stopping. Get into a habit. Get into a habit of writing. Get into a flow. Get into the flow, Bah, bah, bah. Get into the flow, you know. I ain't got into the flow. I ain't even got no music here or nothing, but you know what I'm saying? But just get into the flow of writing. Get into the flow. Get it, make it a habit, make it, a couple of days out of the week or every day of the week, whatever works. But just get into the flow. Find your spot, find your morning spot, find your night spot, find your basement area, whatever. But just get into the flow and keep it moving. Keep it moving and stay motivated. Set some rewards for yourself and then make it fun. Make it fun. You know how powerful it is to write a book and have someone hold that book in their hand, sit and read about what you have written. I'm telling you, you're gonna be so excited when you write that book. Woo! When you finish that book, when you hold that book in your hand, when they mail them books to you, and you open up that box, pop, 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 open them all up and read them books and see your name on that book, say, man, this is my book. My book. It's a feeling like no other feeling. I've never had a feeling like that before. I've never had a feeling to open up a box and see my name on the cover and to know that this book could be sent all over the world and be a blessing just because I just kept the habit of writing. So that's what I'm trying to tell you tonight. So if you out there and you got a question or comment, I am here on the Book Spot, try to help you. So feel free to type in your comment or your question because I want you to get your book written. I meet so many people. Folks, can I tell you something? I run into so many people that want to write books. I mean, some of them don't even, they didn't know that I have written books and somehow they stumbled across me or whatever. But it's people that want to write a book. And my pastor, Dr. Kenneth Rhymes, he always says, there's a book in everybody because somebody wants to tell a story, but not everybody will write it. There's a book in everybody. There's something, an event that you and I experienced, and we just, we just like to tell it. Some talent or gift we have, we just like to tell it. But not everybody will write it. But some of you will. Some of you watching this will. You will write your book. You will start and you won't stop. You will get the habit of writing. You will press on through. You will push on through. And before you know it, the book will be in your hand. You'll be like, woo, look what I did. And that'll be exciting. That'll be a life achievement. Be a life achievement. Get your book written. So that's what we're here for. This book spot is here about get that book written. So I want to thank you all. I saw a few of you all tuned in. Hope you got something out of the show. Hope you got something out of me sharing today. And I hope you go to this website, right to done, right to, yeah, writetodone.com. 10 steps to create the habit of writing. There's all kind of things you could Google. But this was some good nuggets I got from this gentleman here, Mr. Leo Babauta. So stay inspired, stay encouraged, and get that book written. The book written. You got to do it. Ain't nobody else going to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. Now, you could hire a ghostwriter and get it done, but it's going to cost you. But you could do that too. So I'm not going to say if you don't do it, somebody else can do it, but you will pay. And that's okay. That's okay. Maybe that's the way you get it done. But I believe you can go and write it down, make it happen. Well, I want to thank you all. I want to appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. That's all I got. That's all I have. That's all I have for this evening on the book spot. And that is starting and stopping. But no stopping for you. You will start and you will finish. That's good news. You all have a good evening. You have a good evening. And thank you for tuning in to the book spot for one more episode of How to Get That Book Written.